Fuck it, I'm going in. Look like it's snowing in. This locals, I'm throwing money. They think that it's fucking funny, but I'm getting money. I only live one way, that's Monday through Sunday. See me on the highway, they calling me the fly J. Then they see me dancing by now, they call me the fly J.
What up, my guys? Welcome to another show, man. We got our guy Andy Lang with us here as well, man. Just had to do a little intro real quick. Try to get in my zone, man, real quick. I've been real pissed off here lately, but I'm your host, Jay Money. We got our guy Andy Lang with us, the prop guy. What's up with you, Andy? Everything cool with you, my brother?
Yeah, doing good. Busy Friday, busy weekend. A lot of things going on. A little bit of a slate tonight. Got a couple of interesting games. I understand we're not going over a couple of the games, Jay.
I mean, we can do all of them if you want. It's just two games that just like, I mean, they don't even really matter. Really, if you had some,
excluding,
if you have some,
excluding the teams that get into fights and get everyone suspended. I see how it is. What do you have against these teams? I like it.
We don't even know who the fuck is
to
playing.
The back of the head, which is illegal even in UFC. No, I get it. It's a dumb game.
Well, I mean, I could tell you though, in that Wizards game, obviously it's Wizards or nothing. Just worrying about some BS in that one. But yeah, obviously it's pretty easy in that one. It's Wizards or nothing, and or it's Bulls or nothing. If you have some props in those two games, Andy, we can definitely talk about it. I'm down to talk every games. I just want to go through the top tier games, right? But if you like, just hey, real quick, Andy, just go ahead and get straight into it. Do you have anything on that Magic and Wizards game? Obviously, I mean, I don't even know who's all out in, to be honest with you. I know they're down to like 7-8 players for the Magic. It should be Wizard Smoke City spot here.
It should be, and if you believe that, Kyle Kuzma is sitting at a tasty 22.5 points for tonight. I love that one. The only player props they even have for points for the Magic are Bol, Franz Wagner. They do have Markelle Fultz and Banchero. Listen, Banchero, this is your night. Your point total is 22.5. If you really want to show something, you really, really want to get on people's radars, go out there at home, take care of business, drop 30 to 35 and try and get a win when your team's depleted. I'm actually kind of interested to see how he plays tonight. I think this is a real interesting spot for him. He's been handed a nice opportunity to put on a show and lead his team to victory. These are the kind of things that the really great players do. And so I'm actually going to be keeping my eye on that game, Jay.
Yeah, I'd like to take the Wizards there. Like I say, I thought they said that Franz Wagner. So I read reports saying that there's suspension for Cole Anthony, Mo Bamba, Wendell Carter Jr., R.J. Hampton, Gary Harris, Kevon Harris, Franz Wagner, Amir Schofield. But obviously it's Mo Wagner.
It's Mo,
right? Yeah. Obviously it's Mo Wagner that's out. I don't know, man. Like I say, I don't know. The only way the Wizards don't smash these guys if there's some backroom manipulation. Let's just put it that way. So it's pretty easy with me. But it happens, guys. It happens. But like I say, it looks super easy to take the Wizards here. If I'm not mistaken, this line got up to 7.5. Back down to 4.5 now. So I'm not sure what's going on. Wizards or nothing for me is pretty simple, man. Let's get to some real games here, though. But I appreciate you coming through with those prop looks. Obviously, for the Magic, you have to look at Bobo. You have to look at Banchero as well. The ball will be in their hands a ton in this game. They don't even really have their guards. So you have to look at those two for some props in this one, my guys. Let's go over here to the streets of Atlanta here, man. We got the Hawks laying 7 points at the house versus the Fakers here. The Lakers getting 7 points on the road here. People in the chat saying it's LeBron's birthday or not. Obviously, he's been stat padding a lot. Andy, do you like any LeBron props in this one or any props for either one of these two teams?
Yeah, I do. Something I've been working on, Jay. I know same game parlays have become very popular. The books love advertising it. Normally, that to me is a gigantic red flag. Whenever the books want you to get involved in some certain bets, like the boosts, just I don't know. But I know they've been popular, and I have a couple friends that have done really well. So for the last month or so, I've been kind of experimenting with them, and I do think that we can do this professionally and take advantage of some of these same game parlays. Now, here's one that I'm kind of experimenting with tonight. I don't recommend taking this one because I don't feel comfortable yet. I just being
Andy,
honest. Yeah,
I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Now, I've bet a same game parlay before. I don't like it because they screw you over on the odds. Like your odds are now, obviously, they have to do it in lesser odds because they're allowing you to do the same game parlay. I feel like that's the first thing for me is why I don't do same game parlays for the simple fact that the odds aren't correct there. Obviously, like on the 2 game parlay, it's supposed to be somewhere around like plus 280, plus 275 on any two picks needing to win. But when you do the same game parlay, it's only like plus 130. I feel like that's very unfair. Andy, what do you think about that?
It is unfair. But if it's profitable, then I'm all eyes and I'm all
Right.
ears. So we hit one in the game last night, the Thursday night football game. So an example of one that I would look at tonight in this game: Trae Young, 2+ 3-pointers. He had that insane streak where he was hitting under 2 3-pointers. It looks like he's got his shot back, and he's been cashing 3 or more 3-pointers. So I would look for him to get to 2 or more. The Lakers over 106.5 team total. Atlanta's not playing much defense these days, and the Lakers are playing with such a high pace that they've been getting over this total. And then LeBron over 3.5 assists. He's been getting to 5, 6 assists consistently, especially with AD out. I mean, he's the guy running the offense. So it's one that I'm kind of paper trading. Trae Young, 2+ 3-pointers, Lakers over 106.5, and LeBron over 3.5 assists. I'm going to keep looking at these and seeing if there is something there. All we need to do is hit a couple of these a week, and it's a worthwhile investment. So if we're looking at just props, I will go back to Trae Young over 2.5 3-pointers. Like I said, his shot seems to be back. Even with DeJounte Murray back, maybe it's even taken some attention off of him with DeJounte back in the lineup. He's getting more open looks, shooting a lot better. So favorite one in this one is over 2.5 3-pointers for Trae.
Yeah, I couldn't talk you off this. Well, yeah, I like just full disclosure. I bet a same game parlay before it cashed. After I'm like, man, this shit I got screwed over on this, man. I know I won, but I'm like, I got screwed on this, man. I'm never doing this shit again. So yeah, I'm 1 of 1 on same game parlays. I'll never do that again. It's just but yeah, I hope you cash on Andy. I mean, that's some good points as well. And obviously, now this is the thing about the same game parlays. Obviously, you can put some in there that's like some juiced ones. Put those together, right? That you damn near know is gonna cash for sure in that one. So it's always gambling. We always trying to get some cash, find some ways to beat the books, right? These motherfuckers are janky as hell. I'm telling you that right now. I mean, I've been in these books now. I'm just now seeing just how janky they are, and they don't want any winners. It's just crazy. It's like you have to be a loser for them to be taking your bets. I don't understand it, man. But some good looks on this game. Maybe Trae Young over 3s in this one. Obviously, LeBron's been going crazy. He's the whole team right now. He's stat padding. So see what happens. And he's basically the main source of offense for the Lakers over there, man. So let's go over here to the streets of Toronto here, man. We got the Raptors laying 1 point at the house versus the Suns. I believe it's starting to come up 1.5, 2 points here. Maybe Van Fleet is back today. He didn't play yesterday. They got smoked yesterday by the Grizzlies. Not sure what's going on with this Raptors team. They're kind of in the middle. Obviously, they could be a contending team, but the way that they're going this year, they might have to start looking towards the future. You see what I'm saying? I hate to say it, but maybe this team this collectively team together just isn't working out. They were kind of talking about kind of going for Nurse's head. I'm not so sure about that, but what do you think about this Raptors team here, Andy? And obviously you have the Suns on the East Coast as well. You see this being a defensive game. What props do we look at here?
This is the toughest game on the board, in my opinion, because these are two teams that I don't believe in right now.
Thanks.
Like I love all the pieces for Toronto. I will say this individually, Toronto has some impressive pieces. Like if you do want to blow it up and you just say, well, this team as constructed right now, we're not getting anywhere with. You could get a haul for some of these guys. I mean, think of guys that are short a wing player for defense and what you could get for OG and Anunoby. My team, the Indiana Pacers, my God, if we had a strong wing defender, it would completely change the makeup of our team. I think we would give up quite a bit for something like that. So unfortunately, they're just not gelling. This is not a team I can bet on right now. Their defense seems to be gone. They're giving up a lot of points, which is very unlike them. And then you turn to the Suns, and they're so banged up, and Booker is now out. This is a team that is a fade as well. They had that insane shooting game against Memphis, and then predictably they come crashing back to earth and they just get blown off the court by Washington, which was predictable. They shot like 58% from threes that game. They're in the middle of a really tough, mentally tough road trip. I mean, They're away for Christmas, so they're away from their families, and then they just stay away all the way through January 4th. So this is a really tough road trip for them. It's just teams that I cannot support. The only prop that you're going to look at in this one is a DeAndre Ayton over points. He's been playing very well, and the Raptors have just been getting torched by bigger guys inside. You could look at his points. You could look at his rebounds. For Toronto, if you're playing anything, it's probably Siakam over his points. I think he's led the team in scoring like 5 out of the last 6 games. It's still nothing I'm going to pull the trigger on in this game. This is a pass, definitely on the total, definitely on the spread for me.
Man, we could have skipped this shit, to be honest with you. Yeah, two teams that we have absolutely we don't know what they're gonna do from night to night, guys. I mean, obviously that's every team right now, but especially these two teams right here. Easy pass for me, guys. Let's go over here to the streets of Milwaukee here, man. We got the Bucks laying 6.5 points at the house versus the Minnesota Timberwolves in this one. Bucks have been traveling all over the place, finally back at the house now. In theory, you could argue that it's a letdown that I can tell you right now, I think this Bucks team is overvalued in the market. That's just me personally. Like I said, and that's what we've seen as well. They had been covering spreads on the road, have been covering spreads for anybody, but they are coming off 3 straight losses as well for the Bucks. I'd look at Bucks early in this one. My pick for this game would be Bucks first quarter, first half. I know that they're coming off the road trip as well, but when you're playing so terribly on the road and you come home, this is where the Bucks thrive as well, and the Wolves don't necessarily thrive on the road here as well. So my pick in this game would be Bucks in the first quarter, maybe first half as well, Andy. That's the only way I could look in this one. Bucks early in this one to take care of the Wolves. What you think about this game?
Drew Holiday being out is just it's a brutal situation for Milwaukee, not having Middleton and not having Holiday. And what you're seeing is everything falls on the shoulder of Giannis. I'd love to take his over on props, but the books are no dummies. They've caught up to this. His point total is 35.5. That's just his points. That's most people's PRA total, not just points. I do think you possibly could look at Grayson Allen over 11.5, ton of minutes. There's a lot of shots available. He had 13 last game that Drew Holiday was out. I might look at D'Angelo Russell over 17.5. He has a big advantage on the perimeter with Holiday being out. So D'Angelo Russell over his points, possibly his PRA, if you think he's going to get other guys involved. I will say Gobert, without Karl Anthony Towns, the Timberwolves are very susceptible at that power forward, especially if the opposing team has a body that can just kind of work with Gobert. Just body him up, keep him away from the rim, snag some of the rebounds. It opens up that power forward position. And you'll see Bobby Portis have a good game. You'll see Brook Lopez have a good game. But I really think you're looking at D'Angelo Russell to continue his good scoring ways against a depleted perimeter for Milwaukee.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, Brook Lopez, that's a good cap there, Andy. Brook Lopez is going to try to keep Gobert out there on the outside. He's got now. First, I want to say this. I don't know why the hell they talking about Brook Lopez, Defensive Player of the Year, League K. Come on, they got to stop all that shit there. I'm tired of hearing that. But regards to that, he is going to shoot some threes. He is an offensive big. He can bang down low. I know that he can protect the rim. He has a few blocks a game. But come on now, man. We talking about defense. Come on, they got to stop that shit, man. Hey, but for real though, no, that's a good point. If he's holding Gobert on the outside, or if they're trying to figure that out, I can tell you this: the Wolves have really missed Jared Vanderbilt, guys. They really missed him. I feel like that was the reason why they were so good last year. They just had Vanderbilt just out there playing defense and rebound. They said, don't ever shoot the ball. You score 0 points a game. But Vanderbilt was a really intricate piece for that Wolves team. So if Gobert, like you said, if he's trying to figure out how to hover, I think it's going to be adjustment period how to figure this out. I think Bucks in the first quarter would be my pick in this game. I think it's going to take a little bit of time for the Wolves to get used to how the Bucks are playing with their bigs as well. And on the other side, that's a good look with D'Angelo Russell there, Andy. Russell or Anthony Edwards will likely go off in this one without having Drew Holiday. Really only one top key defender out there, and that's Javon Carter. So without Holiday, one of those guys will go off, Anthony Edwards or D'Angelo Russell in that one. But I'd be looking at Bucks early in this one, looking for a bounce back spot. You dig what I'm saying? Let's go over here to the streets of New Orleans here, man. Might go get some seafood, those little spicy crab legs or something today, man. But you got the Pelicans getting 1 point here at the house versus the Sixers, Andy. I'll tell you right now, man, I like the Sixers here. My pick on this game would be Sixers full game -1 or on the money line. When you're looking at it, right? Pelicans have a huge game on deck tomorrow. I hate to think like this because it's not always the case. Obviously, you got to look at the present before you look at the future. But you're going up against the Eastern Coast team, and you lost earlier this year by 20 points to the Grizzlies. It's an interdivisional rival as well. I could almost guarantee you that the Pelicans want that game versus the Grizzlies a whole lot more than they do tonight versus Joel Embiid and the Sixers. Sixers looking for a little bounce back spot as well. I could only look towards the Philly cheesesteaks in this one. Andy, you like any props here?
Yeah. If there's one player that I have had the best read on this season, it's Zion Williamson. And so here's what I've just been doing with Zion, and I've been focusing on his points. Zion is fantastic at taking advantage of a bad matchup. He feasts. It's a little bit, I don't want to use the phrase front runner, but when he has an easy matchup, he cashes. When he has a tough matchup, he goes under and he struggles. So look at some of these matchups here for Zion and look at some of his point totals because they have his point total at 25.5. So against Phoenix, the depleted Phoenix team where they sat guys, he had 30 points. Against Utah, bad defensive team inside, he went over 2 games in a row. Again against Phoenix, 35 and 35 when they're shorthanded. Against Detroit, 29. Against San Antonio, 30. Against Milwaukee, though, Jay, one of the better defensive teams, especially inside, he played 40 minutes and he only had 18 points. That was a client play on the under for Zion. His next game that he played, it was a little bit later. It was last game against Minnesota. We talked about how they struggle against power forwards. He goes off for 43. So when he plays a really good defensive team, take his under. Philly, their defense has really, really been impressive. Over the last 10 games, they are the 3rd best defensive efficient team behind only Memphis and the Clippers. I think this is a Zion under game. I think Embiid is going to be able to control the paint. Valanciunas can kind of do a little bit of damage with Embiid, but against really, really good defensive teams, Zion struggles. He hasn't quite made it to that part of his game yet where he can dominate the really good defensive team. Take Zion under tonight.
That's a good point, man. That's a really I like the contrarian props because really with a lot of people looking at props, no one's really ever looking at unders, to be honest with you, and on a superstar player. And I can kind of look at this like as well. If Joel Embiid's going for the MVP and you see Zion over there in the MVP race as well, he's going to have something to say about that. Let me see. I know that the Pelicans might have a look ahead. Yeah, no. So both teams, first game of a back-to-back, the Sixers play the Thunder tomorrow. The Pelicans play the Grizzlies tomorrow. This is what I could tell you. I would like the Sixers today in this one. Then I would fade them tomorrow and take the Thunder, and then the Pelicans fade them today and then possibly take them tomorrow versus the Grizzlies. It's kind of crazy. That's damn near like 3 plays in one. But Sixers today, man. I know a lot of people like the Pelicans. They won 4 straight. When you look at the dynamic of who they play in the next game, maybe you'd understand what I'm saying. And like I say, nothing's guaranteed. Philly, in theory, like they had been playing so well on the road. This is their 3rd straight road game. They had coming off 7 straight home games. See what I'm saying? They went to New York, were down 3 quarters, came back in the 4th quarter of that one, and then they were down 3 quarters versus the Wizards as well. Tried to come back in the 4th quarter, couldn't get it done. I just got a feeling that the Sixers get this job done, and it could be more on the Pelicans not necessarily having their full focus on the game. They're going to come to play. Obviously, they're going to try to win. Willie Green wants to win every game, but tomorrow's games means a whole lot more for the division, for playoffs, all of that stuff. It's a huge game tomorrow versus the Grizzlies, guy. I guarantee that game is probably on national TV as well. I wouldn't be surprised if the Pelicans rested at least one player here today to get ready for the game tomorrow as well. I like the Sixers in this one, +1, -1, money line, whatever. Give me the Philly cheesesteaks in this one, my guys. Let's go over here to the streets of Denver here, man. We got the Nuggets laying 4 points at the house versus the Miami Heat here, Andy. I could only look Nuggets in this game. I can tell you that in this one. Obviously, Heat on the road. They're not strong at home. They're not strong on the road. Nuggets looking for a little bounce back spot here. 12-3 straight up on the at the house. Andy, how you looking at this one?
Well, Denver's defense is getting better as the season goes on. The issue we have with them right now is we just don't know the status of Jamal Murray and Aaron Gordon. So it's just kind of pause and wait for these guys. If they are out, Porter has been shooting the ball really, really well. And Porter's one of those guys where, take his overs while he's still playing, because at any time his back can seize up and he can be out for a couple weeks. I would love to get some props on Bones Highland. I don't see him out right now. The other guy that's confusing on this one is Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. We cashed a couple of his over props, but last game he only had 7 shots because the rest of his team was, going ballistic. I might go back to him. Jokic, they put the totals so high that you really can't play those at all. Bam, somebody in the chat mentioned Bam, defensive player of the year. He is playing really, really good defense. I just wonder if he has to work really, really hard on the defensive end, if he might be an under tonight. And if Aaron Gordon is out, Jimmy Butler should have a good game. But you just got to wait until we see what the final lineups are in this one. So for now, it's pass on the props until I know if Jamal Murray and Aaron Gordon are going to play.
Yeah, it would be Bam Adebayo or OG Anunoby for defensive player of the year, leading candidates in my opinion. I know damn Brook Lopez, man, get out of here with this shit, man. That's the most hilarious thing to me.
Embiid would be above Lopez, you just gotta
exactly. Come on, man, what are we really doing here? No, I can only look Nuggets here. They've won 7 out of the last 8 meetings versus the Heat, guys. I don't know if you guys noticed, but this Heat team is not good this year. They're nowhere near as good as they were in previous years. First game of back-to-back, they have Utah on deck tomorrow, so maybe that's tough. Man, I gotta like Utah tomorrow. I'll tell you that right now. I don't know what the spread is going to be, but back-to-back Utah, I'll watch this game closely. I lean Nuggets minus the 4. If the Heat do come to something, or win the game outright or cover it, I'd look towards Nuggets here, and then if the Heat do cover, you just fade them tomorrow. It's simple. But I don't think they cover tonight. I don't think they cover tomorrow as well. I know that they were starting to play a little bit better. They had 4 straight home games. Now they're heading on the road to the West Coast as well. It's mountain time. You see what I'm saying? I don't like the spot for the Heat first game of back-to-back. I can only look towards the Nuggets here. This team is top tier offensively. They don't always play the best defense. The Heat do have somewhat some three-point shooters that could possibly get hot. If they're not hitting their threes, I see the Heat getting smoked in this one tonight. And Murray and Gordon, I don't see why they wouldn't be back in this game. They do have the Celtics on deck, but it's not the first of a back-to-back. So they're probably just kind of resting their guys up in this one. I could only look towards the Nuggets. My pick on this game would be Nuggets minus the 4 full game, my guys. And I lean Nuggets first quarter as well. They usually play Jokic the whole first quarter. The Heat coming, like I say, switching time zones as well, flying 2 different, going through 2 time zones, have a little time to get acclimated to the high altitude. My pick on this game would be Nuggets first quarter, Nuggets full game, minus the 4, my guys. Let's go over here to the streets of Sacramento here, man. We have the Kings land 3 points at the house versus the Jazz. You don't want the Jazz on the road. I like it because we're figuring some of these teams out. Some teams, you never want to take them on the road. In my opinion, that's the Jazz. The Sabonis came back from the Kings. I like what I'm seeing, right, Andy? Sabonis said, I could have had surgery, but we got to stack up these wins. We're trying to make the playoffs. I can only look towards the Kings here. Andy, how you looking at this game?
Yeah, I can't believe how good Sabonis looked. I mean, okay, my thumb's broke. Okay, I should have surgery. I'll just come back and have 31 and 10. Wait, what? So I stayed off of him foolishly last game. Like you said, you got Jazz on the road. You got Jazz, bad defensive team, especially inside. Kelly Olynyk. Kelly Olynyk, not defensive player of the year. So you can look at
Sabonis. Hell no.
So I think you can look at Sabonis. I would just stick to his points. They got his points at 20.5. He should be able to do damage inside against this Jazz team. The Jazz, I think they finally maybe are starting to get the message that they're supposed to be tanking this year. I don't think the email went out to everybody at the beginning of the year.
Right. So. They did versus the Warriors. They tanked that one.
Yes. Yeah. So this one, the Jazz players are tough to do with props. I tend to stay away from them. If Sabonis is out, then, you're looking at De'Aaron Fox over. But with Sabonis in, 20.5 seems a little bit low. I'll fire away on Sabonis.
Yeah, so Jazz on the first end of a back-to-back, like I was just talking, they go back home and play the Heat tomorrow. Like I said, I never want Jazz on the road. They played 5 of their last 6 games on the road as well. They're only 1-5 straight up and against the spread in those games. Going up against this Kings team, I can say, in theory, Lauri Markkanen could have a good game. I can tell you what I've noticed from Sabonis. Obviously, he's not trying to get the hand hurt, right? I think it's like a fractured thumb or something like that. He's being super careful with it. Now, he can still play. It's one of those, when you playing with an injury and you're a basketball player, you don't want to play any defense. Defense will get you injured again. Offense, you know what you're doing, right? You know where your injury is, but defense, anything can happen. I don't see Sabonis wants to play any defense in this one. I can see Lauri Markkanen get whenever he wants inside inside the paint as well on the other side. And I must say, Walker Kessler off the bench, he's not a bad paint defender. I must say that. I mean, the Jazz do have some tools. I like this Jazz squad, but you're right. And at some point, they probably will realize that if we're not going to win the championship this year or even get deep into the playoffs, might as well try to get a better draft pick and build our future even more. So I think the Jazz try to win. Remember, this is another key thing, guys. Tanking teams will still try to win at the house. On the road, and I'm not saying the Jazz are for sure, but when they're on the road, that's when it's like, okay, we don't care. But when you're at the house, you kind of have to have some respect for your fans. You know what I'm saying? You see what happened with the Spurs last night. So that's just a little nugget right there for you guys. These same teams on the road, that's when you definitely want to fade them. At the house, they might actually try to come to play. But yeah, I'd look at Jazz tomorrow. I'd be looking to fade them today. I could only look towards the Kings in this one. Some props. Malik Monk, he's talked about after that bad game. He had a bounce back game last game. I could see him keeping it going. Jazz don't have the strongest defensive bench over there. So I'd look at some Monk props in this one. Sabonis offensively be good, but defensively, Lauri Markkanen could probably get whatever he want in this game, my guys. With Lean Kings full game, -3. If Jazz are up, they probably try to tank this one late in the game. And the Kings want to win, right, Andy? So last game up. Let's go to the streets of San Francisco here, man. Dame going back to, well, not Oakland, but going back to San Francisco, got the Warriors getting 2 points at the house. Home underdog once again, Andy. The Warriors have been red hot at the house. Do we just take the Warriors money line here?
All right, here's the stat of the last couple years. Keep this on the back burner. When a team total is 118.5 or over on the opponents of Warriors, okay, playing at Golden State, it is 67-4 to the under.
Damn.
These teams, when they go into Golden State, do not go over their totals when it's that high. So I woke up this morning and I was like, what are they going to give us for Portland? What are they going to give us for Portland? And it's 116.5. That being said, there's been one team since October 23rd that has gone over this 116.5 at Golden State. And this includes when Golden State sits players. This is like when they have these hodgepodge lineups or when Steph is out or, Draymond's out or whatever. It is just, it's amazing how teams struggle and how the defense just really, really ramps up. And we know that, Portland does not have very much depth. They've got their three main scorers. Nurkic can, be hit or miss at times. I think I'm still playing the under. I just can't get away from this Warriors trend. Like you said, I mean, they smoked Memphis at home. They did it again to Charlotte and Utah. So the last 3 home games in a row, you're looking at the opponents' totals of 109, 105, and 107. And I don't think Portland gets there. I'm going to ignore all the player props in this game, and I'm going to sprinkle this Portland team total under.
Nah, that's some good looks right there, man. Chris already was on it as well. Apparently, he knows who
he knows. He's heard the stat.
Yeah, he's heard that before. He said, "Hey, is that in play again tonight?" I think the Blazers get it done tonight. I think Simons and Dame go off in this one, man. Dame, I watched the interview after. Obviously, they not an interview. They had like a little celebration for him being an all-time Blazers leader. It was some real touching moments, man. I really earned a lot of respect for Dame as well. I'll tell you this right now. The last time they faced off versus the Warriors, they got smoked at the house. I'm talking about rolled up and smoked like a fatty, 132-95. They're gonna remember that. I want to take the Blazers here. And what I've noticed as well, when you want to fade the Warriors at the house, it's not fading them. You got to have to go with a strong road team. This isn't a regular road team. You got Dame going back to his old stomping ground. See what I'm saying? When you want to take them first half. Jazz covered the first half versus this Warriors team last year. I know it was on a back-to-back, but Warriors came back in that one. I think they're teetering on a loss, in my opinion. So I know this is the OKC game yesterday. A lot of people going to take the Warriors at the house, home dog. I know the Jazz were favored versus them, right? Now you got the Blazers favored against them. I think this is the one where they drop it. So Friday night, I know my play on this game, guys, would be Blazers first half. Blazers first half -1. I still like the full game as well. I like to say, you go with your gut. I see you in the chat, my guy. You like the Warriors? Take them on the money line. But in my opinion, Blazers get it done in this one. I see Dame. I see Simons going bonkers in this one. Nurkic is questionable in this one, but I don't care. I think off the bench as well. Shaden Sharp, he's catching a body tonight, my guys. So they just got to bring the defense. Jeremy Grant, that's who you want to look at for props in this one, where the Nurkic is in or out. Jeremy Grant, in my opinion, I think he gets some easy baskets inside the paint. I like the Blazers in this one. I think first half is a top play of this game. I still like Blazers full game. I see you in the chat, Jerry. I see you guys in the chat that like the Warriors. But like I said, I always tell people, man, go with your good. That's what you're going to sleep better with at night. Me personally, I like the Fire Blazers in this one tonight. I know they stepping back out on the road after one quick home game, but this is a big game for the Blazers, in my opinion. I'd take them early. Obviously, Warriors usually come back in the second half, but even today, I don't think it happens. Fire blaze them in this one. First half would be the top play in this one. Still in full game as well. But Andy, let's go ahead and get to some free picks, my brother. What you liking on tonight's card, and let the people know what you got going at Wage Talk. We know you have all type of NFL props, man, at NASCAR, all type of shit, man. What you got going, Andy?
Yeah, at the end of the day, our job is to make people money. So I'll just be very honest. Here's where I've been making the most money, and that is NFL 5% plays. We are up over 50 units on 5% plays in this NFL season. That's by far number one at Wager Talk, and we have a 5% play for this Sunday. I can tell you, hey, go grab my NBA. Just grab the NFL 5% plays. That's where we've been running the best at. I'm really excited because January is a great month for us because my golf season starts, tennis season starts, and that's where we do a ton of damage. Never had a losing golf or auto racing or tennis season at Wager Talk. So they're obscure sports, but at the end of the day, this is about money. This is about adding to the bankrolls, and those are the sports that we do it best at. So NFL 5% play is where it's at. It's a Sunday one. You can grab it right now. That's what I recommend.
I like it, man. Yeah, I'm trying to ride there with you, Andy. See what I'm saying? We're trying to cash too, man. But yeah, we're trying to pad those bankrolls. But Andy, what you like on tonight's card, my brother?
Zach LaVine over 22.5 points going to this bowl. I mean, depleted backcourt. Well, first off, the Pistons backcourt is horrific. Like when they're not depleted, and now they're going to have to figure out a way to. Killian Hayes and Diallo is out because of their scarfuffle with Orlando. So they were shorthanded as is. They give up 49 points to guards per game. And, Hayes and Diallo, they're not great defenders, but those guys were playing, over 50 minutes combined. Now they're going to have to dig real deep to try and find minutes for those guys to play. Caruso's questionable, so I don't know who the Bulls are going to throw out there, but Patrick Williams is also questionable. So if those guys don't play, it's just going to be the DeMar DeRozan, Zach LaVine show. So 22.5. He dances around this number consistently, like he's averaging 23.8 points per month. But the matchup tonight just could not be better. I think DeRozan and LaVine have an absolute field day. You talk about LeBron stat padding. This is a game that some Bulls players could really, really take advantage of. Give me LaVine, 22.5 points. Best bet on the show.
Man, the Bulls have beaten the Pistons 10 straight times and covered 9 out of the last 10 as well, man. Before the last one, they were favored by 6.5, only won by 6. Before that, they covered 9 straight versus the Pistons. I didn't want to talk about this game because the Bulls do have a bigger game tomorrow on deck versus the Cavs. So me personally, I wouldn't even take that game. And I wouldn't be surprised if they rested one of those guys. So that LaVine could really hit if maybe a DeRozan sits here. They can beat this Pistons team with just one of their guys. Huge game on deck tomorrow versus the Cavs, guys. So one thing I want to do, I just want to teach you guys, man. Like I said, even if I don't have plays sometimes you do have to look ahead in the schedule, guys. I guarantee the players do this. They have spots circled, just like I got a spot circle in January. These guys have spots circled on their calendars. They have calendars as well, guys. So they know who they're playing the next day, the next week, all of that stuff. And I do think we could see a couple look aheads today. But regards to that, man, for me today, I'm rocking with the Sixers full game money line. I'm rocking with the Blazers in the first half -1. I like the Blazers full game as well. I like Dame, Simons, points, threes, all that shit. I see them boys going bonkers in this one with lean Nuggets first quarter and full game, lean Kings full game as well. Bucks in the first quarter. And I think that was it. Yeah, Philly, Blazers first half. That was it. Yeah. And Bucks early, my guys, man. Let's get some cash today. We appreciate everybody for tuning in. Everybody that's gotten a shirt. I basically sent out all of them. I think it's a couple more people ordered the logo shirt, and I gotta see what's up different sizes, whatever. But everybody that's ordered a shirt, I truly appreciate your support. Everybody that's hitting the like button on these shows as well, I truly appreciate your support. Appreciate your time. Let's get some cash. We appreciate everybody for tuning in. Go follow us on Twitter. My guy Andy at Bump Sports. You know where to find me at. We out, my guys. Let's get this cash back on Monday. We will. Fuck.